Hello and welcome to Learnify English. My name is Lauren, and today I will be your guide in this C1 Advanced English Masterclass. This video is designed for learners who want to improve their daily speaking skills, gain fluency, and feel more confident using English in real situations. Before we begin, let me ask you a simple question. Have you ever learned new words, but when you tried to speak, the words just disappeared from your mind? Or maybe you understand a lot when you listen, but when it is time to speak, you feel blocked, slow, or nervous. If that has happened to you, do not worry. You are not alone. Every English learner faces this challenge. The good news is that there is a way to practice every day that will help you speak more naturally and fluently. That is exactly what this masterclass is about. This lesson is not just about learning new grammar or memorizing vocabulary lists. It is about practice, real practice. You will hear me speak in clear, natural English, and your task is to shadow me. That means you repeat after me, copying the rhythm, the sounds, and the flow of English. This technique is powerful because it trains your mouth, your ears, and your brain to work together. Over time, you will sound more confident, more fluent, and more like a natural English speaker. So here is how we will work together. I will guide you step by step through different exercises. Sometimes we will focus on pronunciation, sometimes on vocabulary, sometimes on complete sentences that you can use in daily conversations. Every exercise is designed to push you just a little bit beyond your comfort zone. Remember, growth comes from challenge. If you stay with me until the end of this video, you will notice a real difference in how you feel when speaking English. You will be able to express yourself more clearly, with stronger vocabulary, and with the confidence of someone at a high level of English. Now, let's talk about the structure. This masterclass is divided into different parts, but everything is connected. We will start with warm-up exercises to prepare your voice and mind. Then we will practice daily expressions and advanced phrases. After that, we will explore storytelling, describing ideas, and discussing complex topics. By the end, you will be practicing at a C1 level, which means advanced, fluent, and natural English. Before we begin, I want to remind you, this is not passive learning. You are not just here to listen. You must participate. Repeat with me. Speak out loud. Shadow my words. Do not worry about making mistakes. Mistakes are your teachers. The more you practice, the stronger your English becomes. And here is one more important thing. Please take a second to like this video and subscribe to Learnify English. That way, you will not miss future lessons. Your support also helps this channel grow and allows me to create more free content for learners like you all around the world. Now let's get started with our warm-up. First, relax your body. Sit or stand in a comfortable position. Take a deep breath in and let it out slowly. Again, breathe in and breathe out. Good. Relax your shoulders. Release any tension. When you are relaxed, your voice will be more natural. Now, we will warm up your mouth. Repeat after me slowly. Pa, ta, ka. Again. Pa, ta, ka. One more time. Pa, ta, ka. These sounds wake up your tongue and lips. Let's try a longer version. Pa pa pa, ta ta ta, ka ka ka. Good. Next, let's practice vowels. Repeat with me. E, o. Again. E, o. Now say them smoothly. O. Very good. Now, let's warm up with some real words. Repeat after me. English, practice, fluency, confident, communication. Good. Say them again, but faster. English, practice, fluency, confident, communication. Excellent. Now we will move into short phrases. Listen and repeat. I am ready to practice. I am improving my English. I speak with confidence. I learn something new every day. Say it again. I am ready to practice. I am improving my English. I speak with confidence. I learn something new every day. These positive phrases are not only for language practice, they are also for your mindset. When you tell yourself positive things, your brain believes them. And when your brain believes them, your actions become stronger. Now, let's take our first step into fluency practice. We will begin with simple sentences that use common daily structures. At the C1 level, it is not about basic grammar. It is about fluency, variety, and natural flow. So I will give you one sentence. Then I will give you variations of the same idea. You will repeat them all. And this will help you expand your speaking flexibility. Listen and repeat. I like learning English. I enjoy learning English every day. I love improving my English skills. I find English practice exciting. Do you see what happened? The basic idea is the same, but the expressions are different. This is how you move from simple to advanced. It is not about using difficult words. It is about variety, rhythm, and expression. Now let's practice another idea. Repeat after me. I am getting better at speaking English. I am improving my fluency step by step. I am speaking more clearly every day. I am becoming more confident in English. Great job. Each variation gives you more options when you speak. This is exactly what advanced learners do. They do not repeat the same sentence again and again. They use flexible expressions. Now let's do one more exercise for this warm-up. Listen and repeat. English connects me with the world. English helps me meet new people. English gives me more opportunities. English opens doors for my future. These sentences are true for many learners, and saying them out loud will remind you why you are here. You are learning English not just for study, but for life. Take a moment now. Breathe in, breathe out, smile. You are on the right path. This is the beginning of your C1 Advanced English Masterclass. Stay with me, because in the next part, we will go deeper into advanced expressions that you can use in daily conversations. We will practice speaking naturally, using real-life examples, and building your fluency step by step. Remember, stay active, speak out loud, and enjoy the process. Now that we have warmed up and prepared your mind and voice, let us go deeper into daily English expressions. At the advanced level, it is not just about understanding words. It is about expressing yourself with clarity, variety, and natural rhythm. Many learners stay at the same level for years because they only use simple sentences. For example, they always say, I am happy, or I am tired. These are correct, but they are not advanced. At the C1 level, you must expand your toolbox. You need more flexible, precise, and colorful ways to say the same idea. This is how you sound fluent and confident. Let us begin with the idea of being happy. Listen and repeat. I am happy. I am glad. I am delighted. I am over the moon. I am thrilled. I could not be happier. All of these sentences communicate happiness, but at different levels. Some are formal, some are casual, and some are very expressive. When you use them in real life, you show listeners that you have a strong command of English. Now let's try the idea of being tired. Listen and repeat after me. I am tired. I am exhausted. I am worn out. I am drained. I am running on empty. I am completely spent. Excellent! Do you feel the difference? Each expression gives you a new option. The more options you have, the more natural you sound. Now, let us practice another common idea. Being busy. Repeat after me. I am busy. I have a lot on my plate. I am tied up at the moment. I am swamped with work. My schedule is packed. I am overwhelmed with tasks. This type of variety makes your English powerful. You can speak in a simple way if you want, but you can also choose advanced options when needed. Now let's connect these expressions into short, natural conversations. Listen and repeat. Sorry, I cannot join you today. I am swamped with work. After running all day, I feel completely drained. She was thrilled when she heard the good news. He is over the moon because he got the job. Good. Notice how these sentences are not only vocabulary practice but also complete, useful lines for real communication. Now let's move on to another area, expressing opinions. At the C1 level, you must be able to give your opinion clearly, politely, and persuasively. Many learners only say, I think, but advanced speakers use many different expressions. Listen and repeat. I think, in my opinion, from my perspective, as far as I am concerned, the way I see it, if you ask me. Now let's practice these in sentences. Repeat after me. In my opinion, practice is the key to fluency. From my perspective, English connects us with opportunities. As far as I am concerned, learning never stops. The way I see it, confidence grows through practice. If you ask me, shadowing is one of the best techniques. Well done. Do you notice how these expressions make your speaking sound richer and more flexible? When you practice them again and again, they will come out naturally in conversations. Now let's practice agreeing and disagreeing politely. Repeat after me. I completely agree with you. That is absolutely true. You are right about that. I see your point, but I am not sure I agree. I am afraid I have to disagree. That is an interesting perspective. But I think differently. Now in sentences, I completely agree with you. Daily practice is essential. That is absolutely true. Vocabulary helps us express ideas better. I see your point, but I am not sure I agree with the conclusion. I am afraid I have to disagree. Confidence is built step by step. Excellent. Polite expressions like these are very important in academic discussions, business meetings, and professional conversations. They allow you to sound respectful, intelligent, and fluent. Now let's do a shadowing drill. I will say a short statement, then a response. You repeat both. Listen and repeat. Learning English is difficult. I see your point, but I think practice makes it easier. Next, I am tired of studying grammar. That is true, but grammar helps us build strong sentences. Next, I do not have time to practice English. I understand, but even 5 minutes a day can make a difference. Good. These drills train your ability to respond quickly, with natural and advanced expressions. Now let us move to describing situations in more detail. At the C1 level, you need to expand your descriptions. Do not just say it was good. Use more advanced and precise language. Listen and repeat. It was impressive. It was remarkable. It was outstanding. It was beyond my expectations. It was truly unforgettable. Now use them in sentences. The movie was outstanding. The actors were brilliant. The presentation was impressive. The speaker was confident and clear. The experience was unforgettable. I will always remember it. Excellent! This is the difference between basic English and advanced English. At the C1 level, you use rich vocabulary to communicate more exactly and more powerfully. Let's now practice connecting sentences smoothly. Many learners speak in short, broken sentences. For example, I like English. It is interesting. It is useful. At the advanced level, we must connect ideas. Repeat after me. I like English because it is both interesting and useful. I enjoy learning English since it gives me more opportunities. I love English as it allows me to connect with people worldwide. Now let's expand further. I like English, not only because it is interesting, but also because it opens doors to new opportunities. Learning English is challenging at times, yet it is extremely rewarding. English is important, especially when you want to study or work abroad. Fantastic. You are now practicing advanced structures that sound natural, fluent, and professional. Before we move on, let me remind you, practice is everything. Watching this video once will not make you fluent, but repeating these exercises every day will create a big change in your speaking ability. So keep repeating, shadowing, and speaking out loud. And of course, if you are enjoying this masterclass, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to Learnify English. Your support allows me to continue creating free lessons for learners all over the world. Take a deep breath now. You are doing great. You are moving step by step into advanced fluency. In the next part, we will practice storytelling, which is one of the most powerful ways to develop advanced speaking skills. Stay with me. One of the most effective ways to become fluent in English is through storytelling. At the C1 level, you must be able to describe events, share experiences, and explain situations in a clear, structured, and engaging way. Storytelling not only improves your vocabulary, but also your grammar, rhythm, and overall confidence. Think about it. Every day, we tell stories. We tell our friends what happened yesterday. We tell our colleagues about a meeting. We share memories, experiences, or even our dreams for the future. If you can tell a story in English, you can communicate naturally in almost any situation. So let us begin. First, we will practice simple storytelling patterns. Repeat after me. Yesterday, something interesting happened. Last week, I had an unforgettable experience. When I was younger, I used to. One day, I suddenly realized. In the future, I hope to. These opening lines are useful because they immediately introduce a story. At the advanced level, you should have several ways to begin. Instead of always saying, "Yesterday I did this." Now let's practice adding details. Repeat after me. Yesterday, something interesting happened. I met a person I had not seen in years. Last week, I had an unforgettable experience. I tried a new sport for the first time. When I was younger, I used to spend hours reading books after school. One day, I suddenly realized I wanted to learn English seriously. In the future, I hope to travel abroad and use English every day. Notice how these sentences expand. The key is to add details. Details make your story real and engaging. Now let's practice the structure of a simple story. Every good story has 3 parts: the beginning, the middle, and the end. Repeat after me. In the beginning, I was not very confident. In the middle, I faced many challenges. In the end, I learned something important. Now let's use that structure in a short story. Listen carefully and then repeat sentence by sentence. In the beginning, I was nervous about speaking English. In the middle, I practiced every day, even though it was difficult. In the end, I became more confident and fluent. Good. That is a complete story in just 3 sentences. At the advanced level, you can add more details, but this simple structure helps you stay organized. Now, let's practice telling a story with emotions. Repeat after me. I was so excited when I received the news. At first, I felt nervous, but then I grew more confident. It was frustrating, but I did not give up. I was proud of myself after I finished. Emotions make your story powerful. They help listeners connect with you. Now let's build a longer story together. I will say one sentence. Then you repeat. Step by step, we will create a complete story. Listen and repeat. Last month, I decided to challenge myself. I wanted to give a presentation in English. At first, I was nervous because the audience was large. I practiced my speech many times at home. When the day came, I took a deep breath and started speaking. In the beginning, my voice was shaking, but as I continued, I grew more confident. By the end, I was speaking clearly and naturally. The audience clapped, and I felt proud of myself. Excellent! That is a complete, advanced level story. Did you notice how it has a clear beginning, middle, and end? This is what makes your English sound fluent and organized. Now let us practice different time expressions to make your storytelling stronger. Repeat after me. A few years ago. Back then. Since then. For the first time. Suddenly. Eventually. Finally. Now let's use them in sentences. A few years ago, I started learning English. Back then, I could not speak very well. Since then, I have practiced almost every day. For the first time, I gave a speech in English. Suddenly, I realized I was speaking without thinking too much. Eventually, my English improved. Finally, I reached a level where I felt confident. Very good. These time expressions are like signposts. They guide your listener through the story and make it easier to follow. Now let's practice adding connectors to make your story flow smoothly. Repeat after me. At first, after that. Meanwhile, on the other hand, in contrast, as a result. Now in sentences. At first, I was shy about speaking. After that, I started practicing with friends. Meanwhile, I was also improving my listening. On the other hand, I still found writing difficult. In contrast, speaking became easier with practice. As a result, my overall English improved. Fantastic. These connectors help you move from one idea to the next naturally. Now let's practice shadowing a slightly longer story. I will read it slowly, and you repeat sentence by sentence. A few years ago, I was afraid of speaking English. At first, I always made mistakes and felt embarrassed. After that, I decided to practice every single day. Meanwhile, I watched English videos and repeated what I heard. Eventually, I noticed my sentences became longer and smoother. Finally, I was able to hold conversations without hesitation. Well done. That is advanced storytelling. It uses time expressions, connectors, and emotions to make the story flow. Remember this. At the advanced level, storytelling is one of the best ways to practice fluency. Every time you tell a story, you combine vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation, and rhythm all at once. That is why it is so powerful. I encourage you to practice telling your own stories after this lesson. Think of a memory, an experience, or a goal. Use the structures we practiced. The beginning, the middle, and the end. Use emotions, time expressions, and connectors. With practice, you will sound more natural and confident. Before we move to the next section, I want to remind you again. Practice out loud. Do not just read silently. Speaking trains your mouth and your mind together. And if you are finding this lesson helpful, please remember to like this video and subscribe to Learnify English. It means a lot and helps us grow this community of learners around the world. We will focus on describing ideas and opinions in detail, which is another essential skill for advanced English fluency. At the advanced level, fluency is not only about answering simple questions, it is about explaining your ideas clearly, expressing opinions, and supporting them with reasons. In daily life, in academic discussions, and in professional meetings, you often need to explain what you think, why you think it, and sometimes even compare your opinion with others. Many learners stop at very short sentences, such as, I think it is good, or I do not like it. These sentences are fine, but they are not advanced. At the C1 level, you must expand your answers and give more detail. This makes your speaking sound natural, confident, and intelligent. Let's start with some useful structures for giving opinions. Repeat after me. I believe that. I feel that. I am convinced that. It seems to me that. What I mean is that. Now in sentences, I believe that practice is more important than talent. I feel that English is a key skill for success today. I am convinced that learning never truly ends. It seems to me that people learn better when they enjoy the process. What I mean is that speaking out loud builds confidence. Excellent! Each of these expressions helps you start your opinion in a stronger way than simply saying, I think. Now let's practice supporting your opinion with reasons. Repeat after me. The reason is that. This is because. One example is, for instance, this shows that. Now let's connect them with opinions. I believe that practice is more important than talent. The reason is that consistent effort creates real progress. I feel that English is a key skill for success today. This is because so many opportunities require communication in English. I am convinced that learning never truly ends. One example is how technology always brings us new things to study. It seems to me that people learn better when they enjoy the process. For instance, students who love music learn English songs faster. What I mean is that speaking out loud builds confidence. This shows that active practice is more effective than silent reading. Do you see how this works? At the advanced level, you do not stop after your first sentence. You add reasons, examples, and explanations. That is what makes your speaking complete. Now let's practice expressing balanced opinions. Sometimes, you want to show that you see both sides. Repeat after me. On the one hand, on the other hand, while it is true that, although some people say, it is important to consider, now let's use them in sentences. On the one hand, learning English can be difficult. On the other hand, it is extremely rewarding. While it is true that grammar is important, speaking practice is equally necessary. Although some people say translation helps, I believe thinking directly in English is better. It is important to consider both the challenges and the benefits of studying abroad. Excellent! Balanced opinions make your speaking sound sophisticated. They show that you can think critically, not just emotionally. Now let's practice agreeing with opinions and adding more detail. Repeat after me. I completely agree, and I would add that. That is a good point, especially because I share the same view. Since, absolutely. And another reason is, now in sentences, I completely agree, and I would add that practice should be daily to be effective. That is a good point, especially because speaking connects us with others quickly. I share the same view. Since English is the most widely used international language. Absolutely. And another reason is that fluency builds professional confidence. Good. These expressions help you join conversations politely and intelligently. Now let's practice politely disagreeing with opinions while still sounding respectful. Repeat after me. I understand your point, but I see it differently. I respect your opinion, though I believe. That is interesting. But in my experience, I see what you mean. However, I am not so sure about that. Because, now in sentences, I understand your point, but I see it differently. I think vocabulary is more important than grammar at first. I respect your opinion, though I believe speaking practice is the real key. That is interesting, but in my experience, listening improves faster with subtitles. I see what you mean. However, shadowing builds fluency more effectively. I am not so sure about that. Because I believe confidence comes before accuracy. Very good. With these phrases, you can disagree politely without sounding rude. Now let's put everything together in a longer response. I will model an advanced answer. Then you repeat sentence by sentence. Question: why is learning English important? Repeat after me. I believe that learning English is essential in today's world. The reason is that English is the most common international language of communication. For instance, many jobs require English skills, especially in business and technology. On the one hand, learning English can be challenging. On the other hand, It gives you more opportunities than almost any other skill. I completely agree with the idea that English opens doors. I would also add that it connects people across cultures. Although some people say you can succeed without English, I am convinced that strong English skills create a much bigger advantage. Excellent. That is a complete, advanced level response. It has an opinion, reasons, examples, balance, agreement, and contrast. That is exactly what you need at the C1 level. Now, let's practice shadowing a second example. Question: what is the best way to improve fluency? Repeat after me. In my opinion, the best way to improve fluency is daily practice with shadowing. This is because shadowing helps train both listening and speaking at the same time. For instance, repeating after natural English videos builds rhythm and pronunciation. While it is true that grammar is useful, I believe speaking out loud is even more important. I see what you mean if you prefer reading. However, reading alone will not give you fluency. As a result, consistent shadowing and speaking practice are the most effective methods. Well done! That is how you take a question and answer it in a detailed, advanced way. Remember, at the C1 level, fluency means being able to expand your answers. Do not stop after one sentence. Always give reasons, examples, and explanations. This is how you sound fluent and confident. Take a moment now. Breathe in, breathe out. You are learning to express your thoughts in a rich and powerful way. We will practice discussing complex topics, which will push your English fluency to an even higher level. At the advanced level, you will often face situations where you need to discuss complex or abstract topics in English. These are not simple everyday conversations like ordering food or asking for directions. Instead, they are deeper discussions about ideas, problems, and solutions. For example, you may be asked to talk about technology, education, culture, or global issues. At the C1 level, it is important to know how to express your thoughts in a clear, organized, and logical way. Let's begin with some useful introductory phrases for complex discussions. Repeat after me. The main issue here is, what we need to consider is, one important aspect is. The question we should ask is, it is worth pointing out that, now in sentences, the main issue here is how technology affects communication. What we need to consider is the impact of social media on young people. One important aspect is the role of education in personal growth. The question we should ask is whether money brings true happiness. It is worth pointing out that language learning is also about culture. Good. These expressions give you strong openings to start a discussion. Now let's practice developing arguments. At the C1 level, you cannot just state your opinion. You must explain it and defend it with reasons. Repeat after me. The evidence suggests that research shows that there is no doubt that it is clear that this demonstrates that. Now in sentences, the evidence suggests that regular practice leads to long-term fluency. Research shows that bilingual people often have better problem-solving skills. There is no doubt that climate change is one of the biggest challenges today. It is clear that technology has changed the way we communicate. This demonstrates that effort is more important than natural talent. Excellent. These expressions give strength to your arguments. Now let's practice contrasting ideas. Repeat after me. However, some people argue that, on the contrary, in contrast, nevertheless, although it seems true, the reality is. Now in sentences, however, some people argue that technology makes us less connected, not more. On the contrary, many believe that education should focus more on creativity than exams. In contrast, developing countries often face very different challenges. Nevertheless, people continue to depend on social media for daily communication. Although it seems true that money brings happiness, the reality is that relationships matter more. Great. Now you are practicing advanced connectors that make your discussion sound logical. Now let's do a practice discussion about technology and communication. I will build a structured answer, and you repeat sentence by sentence. The main issue here is how technology affects human relationships. On the one hand, technology connects people instantly across the world. For instance, video calls allow families to stay close even when they live far apart. Research shows that social media helps people maintain more friendships over time. On the other hand, some people argue that technology reduces face-to-face communication. For example, many people spend more time looking at screens than talking to each other. Although technology is useful, the reality is that balance is important. As a result, we should learn to use technology wisely without letting it control our lives. Well done. That is a strong, advanced level discussion. It introduces the issue, gives both sides, provides examples, and ends with a conclusion. Now let's practice another topic, education. Repeat after me. One important aspect is the role of education in shaping society. It is clear that education gives people more opportunities in life. For instance, people with higher education often earn more and have better jobs. Nevertheless, education is not only about money, it also develops critical thinking. Some people argue that traditional schools focus too much on memorization. In contrast, modern education tries to encourage creativity and problem-solving. Although exams are important, the reality is that real learning happens through practice and curiosity. Therefore, education should be a balance of knowledge, creativity, and personal growth. Excellent. You are now building complex discussions step by step. Now let's practice expressing solutions to problems. Repeat after me. One possible solution is, a good way to address this issue is, we could improve the situation by, it would be helpful if, the best approach might be, now in sentences. One possible solution is to limit daily screen time for children. A good way to address this issue is to encourage outdoor activities. We could improve the situation by creating more community programs. It would be helpful if schools taught digital balance and responsibility. The best approach might be combining technology with traditional face-to-face interaction. Fantastic. With these expressions, you can go beyond describing a problem and actually offer meaningful solutions. Now let's combine everything into a practice discussion about global warming. Repeat after me. There is no doubt that global warming is one of the greatest challenges of our time. The evidence suggests that human activities are the main cause of climate change. For instance, burning fossil fuels increases greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. However, some people argue that natural cycles also play a role. Nevertheless, research shows that human impact is the biggest factor. One possible solution is to reduce our dependence on oil and coal. We could improve the situation by using renewable energy like solar and wind. It would also be helpful if governments work together to create international agreements. As a result, individuals, businesses, and leaders all need to take responsibility. Excellent. That is a well-structured, advanced discussion of a global issue. Now let's pause for a moment. Take a deep breath. You are practicing some of the most important skills for advanced English, expressing complex ideas, showing both sides, and offering solutions. This is exactly what makes you sound like a fluent, educated, and confident speaker. Remember, the key is practice. Do not just repeat after me once. Repeat many times until these expressions and structures feel natural. Stay with me, because in the next part, we will focus on advanced vocabulary building through topics and themes, which will take your fluency even higher. Now, let us dive deeper into the rhythm of natural speech. At the advanced level, It is not only about knowing the words, but also about making your speech flow smoothly. English has a natural rhythm. Some words are stressed, and others are unstressed. This creates a musical pattern that makes English sound natural. If you speak every word with equal stress, your English will sound flat and robotic. If you master rhythm, your English will sound clear and fluent. Let us practice this idea with some sentences. Repeat after me. I need to speak more naturally. Notice that the words need, speak, and naturally are stressed. The small words I and to are less stressed. Say it again with me. I need to speak more naturally. Feel the rhythm. Here is another example. Could you pass me the book? The stressed words are pass and book. The words could you and me are less stressed. Repeat it slowly, then a little faster. Could you pass me the book? This is how rhythm works in English. Stressed words carry the meaning. Unstressed words connect the sentence together. If you practice rhythm, your speech will sound smoother and easier to understand. Now let us train with shadowing. I will say sentences, and you copy me immediately. Do not wait. Just repeat as I speak. Ready? Let's begin. I really enjoy learning English every day. He is trying to improve his speaking skills. We should practice together to sound more fluent. They have been studying English for many years. She can express her ideas very clearly. Excellent. The shadowing exercise helps you train both rhythm and fluency. Keep practicing until your voice and my voice move together like music. Now, let us talk about another important part of advanced speaking. Connectors. Connectors are words or phrases that link ideas together. At C1 level, you must be able to connect your ideas smoothly. Instead of speaking with short sentences, you should join them to sound more advanced. For example, instead of saying, I like English, it is useful, I want to use it for my job, you can say, I like English because it is useful, and I want to use it for my job. Connectors make your speech flow. Let us look at some useful connectors. Because, although, however, therefore, in addition, as a result, on the other hand, even though, now. Let us practice them. Repeat after me. I enjoy learning English because it opens many opportunities. I find English difficult at times. Although I never give up, I made some mistakes. However, I learned from them. I studied hard. Therefore, I passed the exam. I like reading. In addition, I enjoy listening to podcasts. I missed some classes. As a result, I had to study extra. English is challenging. On the other hand, it is rewarding. I kept practicing, even though I was tired. When you speak with connectors, your sentences become longer and richer. This is what makes you sound advanced. Now let us combine rhythm and connectors. Listen and repeat. Although it was raining, we decided to continue practicing outside. Notice how the stress falls on raining. Decided. Continue. And outside. Repeat it again with me. Here is another. She studied hard. Therefore, she achieved great results. Stress studied. Therefore, achieved. And results. Say it again. This is how advanced learners use rhythm and connectors together. Now I want you to imagine you are explaining something to a friend in English. Use a connector in your explanation. For example, say, I could not join the meeting because I was busy. Or, I enjoy practicing English. In addition, I love teaching it to others. By practicing this, you will improve not only your grammar but also your natural fluency. Remember, English is not just about words. It is about flow, rhythm, and connection. Every time you practice speaking, pay attention to which words are stressed, which are unstressed, and how your ideas connect. This is how you move from being good to being advanced. Now, let us end this part with a short fluency drill. Repeat each line after me with energy. I can speak English with confidence. My rhythm makes my speech sound natural. I connect my ideas smoothly. I sound more advanced every day. I am proud of my progress. That is the power of rhythm and connectors. Keep practicing, and you will feel your English becoming more fluent with every step. At this stage, let us focus on advanced vocabulary and expressions. At C1 level, you need to move beyond simple words and start using richer, more precise language. For example, instead of saying very big, you can say enormous. Instead of very small, say tiny. Instead of very good, say excellent. Choosing stronger words makes your English sound sharper and more professional. Let us practice together. Repeat after me. Very big, enormous. Very small, tiny. Very good, excellent. Very bad, terrible. Very happy, delighted. Very sad, miserable. Very tired, exhausted. Very hungry, starving. Very fast, rapid. Very slow, sluggish. Now let us put these words into sentences. Repeat after me. The building is enormous. The baby is so tiny. She gave an excellent presentation. The service was terrible. He was delighted with the results. She felt miserable after the bad news. I am exhausted after a long day. We were starving, so we ate quickly. The train was rapid and efficient. His response was sluggish. Great. These advanced words make your speech more colorful and natural. Now, let us explore advanced expressions. Native speakers often use idiomatic phrases instead of simple words. Learning these will make you sound more natural. Here are some useful ones. Break the ice, to make people feel comfortable. Hit the nail on the head, to describe something exactly. Keep an eye on, to watch carefully. Out of the blue, something that happens unexpectedly. The ball is in your court. It is your decision or responsibility. Let us practice. Repeat after me. He told a joke to break the ice. You hit the nail on the head with your answer. Can you keep an eye on my bag? Out of the blue. She called me after many years. The ball is in your court now. These expressions make your English more advanced and closer to how natives actually speak. Now let us do a shadowing drill with advanced words and expressions. Follow my voice. I was exhausted after the long trip. She felt delighted when she passed the exam. He hit the nail on the head during the discussion. The weather changed out of the blue. The ball is in your court, so make a decision. Excellent practice. Keep repeating these sentences until they feel natural. Now let us combine everything we have learned. Rhythm, connectors, advanced words, and expressions. Listen and repeat. Although I was exhausted, I decided to join the meeting because it was extremely important. She was delighted with her excellent results. In addition, she received an unexpected call out of the blue. You hit the nail on the head when you said that practice leads to fluency. Notice how the rhythm, advanced vocabulary, and connectors all work together. This is the level of fluency you are building now. Here's a quick challenge for you. I will give you a simple sentence, and I want you to transform it into a more advanced version. The simple sentence is, I was very tired, but I finished my work. You can make it advanced by saying, although I was exhausted, I managed to complete my work. See the difference? The second version sounds smoother, stronger, and more advanced. Let us try another one. The simple version, she was very happy because she won the prize. The advanced version, she was delighted because she had won the prize. Now one more. Simple version, it happened suddenly. Advanced version, it happened out of the blue. This is the power of advanced vocabulary and expressions. By making small changes, your English immediately sounds higher level. Let's finish this part with a motivational shadowing drill. Repeat after me with energy. My vocabulary is growing every day. I can use advanced expressions with confidence. My English sounds natural and fluent. I am proud of my progress at C1 level. I will keep moving forward toward mastery. Excellent work! With advanced words and expressions, you are speaking English not just correctly, but powerfully. Now, let us focus on one of the most important skills for C1 level: paraphrasing. Paraphrasing means expressing the same idea in different words. This skill is essential in advanced speaking and writing. It helps you avoid repetition, show flexibility, and sound more fluent. For example, instead of saying, "I think it is important," you can say, "In my opinion, it is significant. I believe it holds great value. It seems crucial to me." Each version has the same meaning, but with different words. This is paraphrasing. Let us practice together. Repeat after me. I like reading books. Now paraphrase. I enjoy reading novels. I am fond of reading. Reading gives me pleasure. Here's another example. The movie was interesting. Paraphrase. The film was engaging. The movie captured my attention. It was quite fascinating. Very good. By practicing this skill, you can answer questions in different ways without repeating yourself. Let us do a short exercise. I will give you a basic sentence, and I want you to shadow the advanced versions. Basic sentence: I am tired. Advanced versions: I feel exhausted. I am worn out. I am drained. Basic sentence: she is happy. Advanced versions: she feels delighted. She is overjoyed. She is in high spirits. Basic sentence: it is important. Advanced versions: it is significant. It matters a great deal. It is of great importance. Excellent! You are now building flexibility in your speech. Next, let us practice paraphrasing in longer sentences. Repeat after me. I think technology is important in education. Paraphrase. In my opinion, technology plays a significant role in education. I believe that education benefits greatly from technology. It seems to me that technology has an essential impact on learning. Another example. People should exercise every day. Paraphrase. It is recommended that people engage in daily exercise. Regular physical activity is important for everyone. Exercising on a daily basis is highly beneficial. You see how paraphrasing adds variety and sophistication. This is exactly what examiners and listeners notice at C1 level. Now, let us combine paraphrasing with connectors. Listen and repeat. Although I was exhausted, I managed to finish my work. Paraphrase. Even though I felt drained, I completed my tasks successfully. Despite being worn out, I still managed to complete my work. In spite of my exhaustion, I was able to finish everything. These sentences all carry the same meaning, but sound different. This flexibility is what makes you fluent and advanced. Let us practice with a quick shadowing drill. Repeat each version after me. It is important to stay healthy. It is significant to maintain good health. Keeping yourself healthy matters a great deal. Maintaining good health is of great importance. Now another one. The book was interesting. The novel was fascinating. The reading material was engaging. It was an absorbing book. This practice will help you think quickly in English and choose the right words in conversation. Here's a challenge for you. Try to paraphrase this sentence. Learning English is difficult, but useful. Possible answers are: although learning English can be challenging, it is very beneficial. Even though English is not easy, it is extremely valuable. Despite the difficulties, studying English is worthwhile. Excellent! You are becoming flexible and expressive in English. Let's close this part with affirmations. Repeat after me. I can express ideas in many different ways. My English is flexible and advanced. I am confident in paraphrasing sentences. I can speak without repeating the same words. I am proud of my progress. Wonderful work! Paraphrasing is a key to fluency, and you are mastering it step by step. We will focus on advanced collocations and natural word combinations. At C1 level, it is not only about grammar and vocabulary, but also about using words the way native speakers naturally use them. This is what makes your English sound authentic and fluent. Collocations are words that often go together. For example, we do not usually say strong rain, we say heavy rain. That is a collocation. Another example is make a decision. We do not usually say do a decision. Let us practice some useful collocations together. Repeat after me slowly and clearly. Make a mistake. Do homework. Take a break. Catch a cold. Pay attention. Keep a promise. Now let us move into more advanced collocations, which are very useful for C1 speakers. Repeat after me. Gain experience. Deep understanding. Strong argument. Widespread belief. Highly unlikely. Perfectly clear. These collocations help you sound more natural. For example, instead of saying it is very not likely, you can say it is highly unlikely. Instead of saying it is very clear, you can say it is perfectly clear. Now let us practice collocations for expressing opinions. Repeat after me. Broad agreement. Firm opinion. General consensus. Strongly recommend. Widely accepted. Excellent. Here is an exercise. I will say a sentence, and then give you a more advanced version using collocations. Repeat both. Sentence. People agree that climate change is a problem. Advanced. There is a general consensus that climate change is a problem. Sentence. I really suggest you practice every day. Advanced. I strongly recommend that you practice every day. Sentence. It is very clear that he is talented. Advanced. It is perfectly clear that he is talented. Do you see how collocations make your English stronger and more precise? Now, let's try collocations with verbs. Repeat after me. Raise awareness. Draw attention. Overcome difficulties. Meet expectations. Break the habit. Achieve success. Let us use them in sentences. Shadow with me. We need to raise awareness about environmental issues. The teacher drew attention to an important detail. She managed to overcome many difficulties. He did not meet expectations at work. I am trying to break the habit of staying up late. They finally achieved success after many attempts. Wonderful work. You are now building your advanced vocabulary bank with natural word combinations. Here is another challenge. I will give you a simple sentence, and I want you to repeat the more advanced collocation version. Basic. I got better after the flu. Advanced. I made a full recovery after the flu. Basic. She is very interested in art. Advanced. She has a keen interest in art. Basic. The company grew very fast. Advanced. The company experienced rapid growth. Basic. They worked very hard. Advanced. They put in considerable effort. Perfect. These small changes make your English sound much more advanced. Now let us combine collocations with connectors. Repeat after me. Although the project faced many challenges, it eventually achieved success. In spite of her difficulties, she made a full recovery. Despite his lack of experience, he met expectations at work. Very good. Collocations plus connectors are powerful tools for fluency. Let us finish this part with affirmations. Repeat after me. I use natural collocations in my speech. My English sounds authentic and advanced. I am confident when I combine words naturally. My fluency improves every day. Excellent! You are developing not only vocabulary, but also the natural flow of English. We will practice advanced phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs are very important for fluency because native speakers use them every day. At C1 level, you should be comfortable not only understanding phrasal verbs, but also using them naturally in your own speech. Let's begin with some common but powerful phrasal verbs. Repeat after me. Carry out, put off, bring up, point out, come across, work out. Now let us use them in sentences. Repeat each sentence clearly. The scientist carried out an important study. He kept putting off his homework until the last minute. She brought up an interesting question during the meeting. I would like to point out a small mistake in your essay. I came across an amazing book yesterday. They finally worked out a solution to the problem. Excellent. These phrasal verbs make your English sound natural and advanced. Now let us practice with more advanced ones. Repeat after me. Cut back on, figure out, look into, take over, step down, carry on. And here are the sentences. The company is trying to cut back on unnecessary expenses. I cannot figure out the answer to this problem. The police are looking into the case. Another manager will take over the project. He decided to step down from his position. Despite the difficulties, she carried on with her studies. Very good. You are doing well. Now let's practice phrasal verbs that help in formal and academic English. Repeat after me. Account for, turn down, go over, set up, bring about, lay out. And now the sentences. The report accounts for the changes in the market. She turned down the job offer because it was too far away. Let's go over the main points again. They set up a new organization to help the community. The policy brought about major improvements. He laid out his ideas clearly in the presentation. Fantastic. Notice that many phrasal verbs can be used both in formal and informal situations. At C1 level, you should know which ones are suitable for academic writing and which ones are more conversational. Let us now practice transformation. I will give you a formal phrase, and then I will give you the phrasal verb version. Repeat both. Formal. They established a new system. Phrasal. They set up a new system. Formal. She refused the invitation. Phrasal. She turned down the invitation. Formal. He continued working despite the challenges. Phrasal. He carried on working despite the challenges. Formal. They investigated the issue carefully. Phrasal. They looked into the issue carefully. Excellent. This shows you how flexible phrasal verbs are in everyday English. Now let us try a little fluency drill. I will say a sentence with a blank. You will fill it with the correct phrasal verb. Shadow with me. Sentence. We need to yakal a solution to this problem. Answer. We need to work out a solution to this problem. Sentence. She decided to from her position after 10 years. Answer. She decided to step down from her position after 10 years. Sentence. They will passi the project next week. Answer. They will take over the project next week. Sentence. The government is trying to smoking in public areas. Answer. The government is trying to cut back on smoking in public areas. Excellent practice. Now let us shadow a few longer sentences. These will challenge your fluency. Repeat slowly after me. Although he faced many difficulties, he carried on with his research until he succeeded. The company set up a new branch in the city, which brought about many job opportunities. She turned down the proposal, but she agreed to go over the details again later. The teacher pointed out that the students needed to account for their sources properly in the essay. Great work. Your fluency is improving step by step. Let's end this part with affirmations. Repeat after me. I can understand and use advanced phrasal verbs. I feel confident when I speak with phrasal verbs. My fluency improves every time I practice. I enjoy learning new expressions and using them naturally. Very good. Keep going. You are making excellent progress. We will focus on expressions and collocations that help you sound like a native English speaker at C1 level. Collocations are words that naturally go together. Native speakers use them without thinking, and you should practice them to improve fluency. Let's start with some common collocations. Repeat after me. Make progress. Take responsibility. Pay attention. Break the news. Keep in mind. Set a goal. Now let's use them in sentences. Repeat each one slowly and clearly. She made great progress in her English studies. You must take responsibility for your actions. Please pay attention to the instructions. He broke the news to his family gently. Keep in mind that the exam will be difficult. She set a goal to finish the project by Friday. Excellent. You see how natural these expressions sound. Now let's practice collocations for academic and professional English. Repeat after me. Reach a conclusion. Conduct research. Gain experience. Draw attention. Provide evidence. Raise an issue. And now the sentences. The scientists reached a conclusion after many tests. She conducted research on climate change. Working abroad helped him gain valuable experience. The teacher drew attention to the key point. The lawyer provided evidence during the trial. Students raised an issue about the lack of resources. Great job. Now let's practice with collocations used in daily conversations. Repeat after me. Catch someone's eye. Run out of time. Lose track. Take a break. Make an effort. Come prepared. And here are the sentences. That new cafe really caught my eye. We ran out of time during the test. I lost track of the conversation. Let's take a break and continue later. You need to make an effort to improve your pronunciation. She always comes prepared for meetings. Excellent shadowing. Now let's practice a mini dialogue. Repeat both sides of the conversation with me. A. Did you make progress on your project? B. Yes, but I ran out of time yesterday. A. Don't worry. Just set a goal and make an effort every day. B. You're right. I'll take responsibility and come prepared tomorrow. Fantastic. This practice will help you connect collocations in natural speech. Let's now challenge your fluency. Repeat these longer sentences after me. She took responsibility for the mistake and promised to make an effort to improve. Although they conducted research for months, they could not reach a clear conclusion. He caught my eye at the meeting because he always comes prepared and pays attention. The teacher raised an issue during the discussion and provided strong evidence to support her point. You are doing great. Collocations will make your English sound smooth and advanced. Now, let's finish this part with affirmations. Repeat after me. I can use collocations naturally. I sound more fluent and advanced every day. My English improves as I practice expressions in real sentences. I feel confident speaking English with collocations. In this part, we will practice advanced connectors and linking words that help you speak smoothly and logically at the C1 level. Linking words are like bridges. They connect your ideas, make your speech organized, and help people follow your thoughts easily. Let's begin with connectors for adding information. Repeat after me. Moreover, in addition, not only, but also, as well as. Now in sentences, moreover. Learning English opens new opportunities. In addition, it helps you connect with people worldwide. She is not only intelligent, but also very hardworking. He enjoys playing football as well as reading books. Excellent. These are great for sounding academic and professional. Now let's try connectors for contrasting ideas. Repeat after me. However, on the other hand, although, even though, whereas, and the sentences. I wanted to go out, however, it started raining. On the other hand, staying home gave me time to study. Although the test was difficult, she passed with a high score. Even though he was tired, he continued working. She prefers coffee, whereas I prefer tea. Perfect. These help you explain differences and opposing ideas. Now let's practice connectors for showing cause and effect. Repeat after me. Therefore, as a result, consequently, due to, because of. Now in sentences, the weather was terrible. Therefore, the flight was canceled. He studied hard. As a result, he passed the exam. The company lost money. Consequently, many people lost their jobs. The event was postponed due to the storm. The school closed because of the heavy snow. Excellent. These will make your arguments sound logical and professional. Now let's practice connectors for giving examples. Repeat after me. For example, for instance, such as in particular and the sentences. Learning English is useful for travel. For example, it helps you ask for directions. Many countries use English daily. For instance, India and Singapore. You should eat healthy foods such as vegetables and fruits. I enjoy outdoor activities, in particular, hiking and cycling. Good job. Now let's practice connectors for summarizing and concluding. Repeat after me. In conclusion, to sum up, all in all, overall, and in sentences. In conclusion, practice is the key to fluency. To sum up, shadowing helps you improve pronunciation. All in all, English is a valuable skill for everyone. Overall, I feel more confident when I practice daily. Excellent! Now let's put these connectors into longer sentences. Repeat after me. Learning English is challenging. However, daily practice makes it easier. She studied for months. As a result, she achieved a high score. I enjoy many hobbies, such as reading, painting, and cycling. In conclusion, consistent practice brings steady progress. Fantastic. Now, let's shadow a short academic-style paragraph. Repeat after me, one sentence at a time. Learning English requires effort and consistency. Moreover, it brings many opportunities for work and travel. However, some learners struggle because they lack daily practice. As a result, their progress is slower. In conclusion, if you want fluency, you must practice every single day. Well done. That is excellent shadowing practice. Let's finish this part with affirmations. Repeat after me. I can connect my ideas smoothly in English. I use advanced linking words with confidence. My speech sounds logical, natural, and fluent. I am improving every day. Wonderful. You are becoming more fluent, more natural, and more advanced. We will focus on advanced speaking practice with opinion and argument building. At the C1 level, you must be able to express your thoughts clearly, give reasons, and support your opinions with examples. This is very important for fluency, exams, and real-life conversations. Let's begin with useful expressions for giving your opinion. Repeat after me. In my view, from my perspective, as far as I'm concerned, I strongly believe that, it seems to me that, now in sentences, in my view, daily practice is more important than talent. From my perspective, learning English opens many doors. As far as I'm concerned, reading is the best way to expand vocabulary. I strongly believe that speaking practice should be part of every lesson. It seems to me that confidence grows with repetition. Excellent. Now let's move to expressions for giving reasons and supporting ideas. Repeat after me. This is because. The reason is that. For this reason. That is why. Due to the fact that. Now in sentences. I prefer studying in the morning. This is because my mind is fresh. He speaks English fluently. The reason is that he practices every day. I enjoy listening to podcasts. For this reason, I learn faster. She avoids distractions. That is why her progress is so good. Many students improve slowly due to the fact that they do not practice enough. Good work. Now let's practice making your argument stronger. Repeat after me. It is clear that. There is no doubt that. It is obvious that. It cannot be denied that. One could argue that. And in sentences. It is clear that consistent practice leads to better results. There is no doubt that English is important for global communication. It is obvious that shadowing improves pronunciation. It cannot be denied that motivation is essential for learning. One could argue that listening is just as important as speaking. Perfect. Now, let's practice combining opinions with examples. Repeat after me. I strongly believe that listening to English daily is important because it helps the brain get used to natural sounds. From my perspective, reading English stories is very useful since it gives you both vocabulary and grammar in context. As far as I'm concerned, speaking with others is the fastest way to improve because it forces you to think quickly. Very good. Now let's shadow a longer opinion paragraph together. Repeat after me, one sentence at a time. In my view, the best way to learn English is through daily speaking practice. This is because speaking allows you to use the language actively. Moreover, it helps you build confidence and fluency. For this reason, learners should not only focus on grammar and vocabulary, but also on speaking regularly. All in all, speaking every day is the most effective path to fluency. Excellent shadowing. Now let's practice polite disagreement. At the advanced level, you need to disagree respectfully. Repeat after me. I see your point, but I think I understand your opinion. However, that may be true, but in my view, I respect your idea. Yet I believe, and in sentences, I see your point. But I think practice is more important than theory. I understand your opinion. However, I believe reading is not enough without speaking. That may be true, but in my view, grammar should not stop you from speaking. I respect your idea, yet I believe daily repetition is the real key to success. Perfect. Now let's shadow another argument-style paragraph. Repeat after me. Some people believe that learning grammar first is the best method. I see their point, but I think speaking should come first. This is because communication is the main goal of language. Moreover, when you speak, you also remember grammar and vocabulary more effectively. Therefore, speaking practice should always be a priority. Well done. Let's finish this part with affirmations. Repeat after me. I can express my opinions clearly in English. I support my ideas with reasons and examples. I can agree or disagree politely and respectfully. My English is becoming confident, advanced, and fluent. Wonderful. Every repetition, every shadowing practice makes you stronger and more fluent. We will focus on storytelling and advanced fluency practice. At the C1 level, storytelling is a powerful skill. It helps you connect ideas, use advanced vocabulary, and sound more natural. Let's begin with some useful connectors for storytelling. Repeat after me. First of all, then, after that, later on, finally, and in sentences. First of all, I want to tell you about my trip. Then, something interesting happened. After that, we met some new people. Later on, I learned an important lesson. Finally, the experience changed me. Good. Now let's practice connectors for adding details. Repeat after me. In fact, actually, as a matter of fact, interestingly, to be honest, and in sentences. In fact, I was very nervous at first. Actually, the situation was not as bad as I thought. As a matter of fact, I learned something new that day. Interestingly, people were very kind to me. To be honest, I didn't expect that result. Excellent. Now let's shadow a short story together. Repeat after me. Last year, I traveled to another country for the first time. First of all, I was very excited, but also nervous. Then, when I arrived at the airport, I got lost. After that, a kind stranger helped me find my way. Later on, I explored the city and tried new food. Finally, I realized that traveling is not only about places, but also about people. It was an unforgettable experience. Very good shadowing. Now let's practice using descriptive language. At the advanced level, you need adjectives and details to make your story interesting. Repeat after me. The city was vibrant and full of life. The atmosphere was calm and peaceful. The food was delicious and unforgettable. The people were welcoming and generous. The experience was challenging but rewarding. Excellent! Now let's practice storytelling in the past tense with emotions. Repeat after me. At first, I felt nervous. Soon, I became more confident. After a while, I started to enjoy myself. In the end, I was proud of what I achieved. Looking back, it was one of the best experiences of my life. Now let's shadow another story paragraph. Repeat after me. When I started learning English, I was very shy. At first, I felt nervous every time I spoke. Soon, I became more confident after practicing daily. After a while, I started to enjoy speaking with others. In the end, I was proud of how much I improved. Looking back, learning English has been one of the best journeys of my life. Perfect. Now let's practice storytelling with lessons and morals. Repeat after me. I learned that confidence grows with practice. I discovered that mistakes are part of success. I realized that small daily steps lead to big progress. I understood that listening carefully makes communication easier. I found out that persistence is more powerful than talent. Excellent. Now let's do a longer shadowing story together. Repeat after me. 2 years ago, I joined an English speaking club. At first, I was terrified because everyone spoke better than me. However, I decided not to give up. Every week, I practiced, listened, and repeated. Slowly, I improved. People started to notice my progress. In fact, I even gave a short speech to the group. Finally, I realized that fear disappears when you take action. This experience taught me that the only way to grow is to step out of your comfort zone. Very well done. Now let's finish this part with affirmations. Repeat after me. I can tell stories in English with confidence. My stories are clear, interesting, and fluent. I use connectors, details, and emotions to bring my stories to life. I am an advanced English speaker, and I am proud of my progress. Wonderful! You are mastering the art of English storytelling. Congratulations! You have made it to the final part of this C1 Advanced English Fluency Masterclass. This last section is about confidence, fluency, and lifelong learning. At the advanced level, English is not only about grammar and vocabulary, it is about expressing yourself naturally, connecting ideas, and communicating confidently in any situation. Let's begin with some powerful daily expressions. Repeat after me. Let me explain my point of view. In other words, what I mean is, from my perspective, it's important to sum up. The main idea is, in conclusion, I believe that. Now in sentences, let me explain my point of view about this problem. In other words, what I mean is, learning never stops. From my perspective, practice is more important than perfection. To sum up, the main idea is that English should be used every day. In conclusion, I believe anyone can achieve fluency with persistence. Excellent. Now let's practice fluency through long shadowing. Repeat after me slowly, then again more naturally. English fluency is not about being perfect. It is about speaking without fear, listening with focus, and responding with confidence. Mistakes are a natural part of learning, and every mistake brings you closer to success. The more you practice, the easier it becomes. Step by step, you will find yourself speaking naturally, clearly, and fluently. Well done. Now let's practice motivational affirmations. Repeat after me. I am a confident English speaker. I am improving every single day. I am not afraid of mistakes. They help me grow. My English is clear, natural, and fluent. I believe in myself, and I will succeed. Perfect. Now let's do a final real-life speaking exercise. Imagine you are in an international meeting. Repeat after me. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. Today, I would like to share my ideas about communication. In my opinion, clear communication is the key to success. First of all, it helps us understand each other. Then, it reduces mistakes and confusion. Finally, it builds trust and stronger relationships. Thank you for listening. Amazing job. You are now ready to use English in advanced situations. conversations, presentations, debates, and storytelling. Remember, the secret is to keep practicing, keep shadowing, and keep speaking. Let's finish with one final shadowing passage. Repeat after me. Fluency is a journey, not a destination. Every word I speak brings me closer to mastery. Every conversation helps me grow. I am proud of my progress, and I am excited for the future. English is my tool for learning, connection, and success. Wonderful! This is the end of the masterclass, but it is only the beginning of your advanced English journey. Keep practicing every day. Come back to shadow these lessons again and challenge yourself to use English in new situations. Remember, you are capable, you are confident, and you are fluent.